morning, it's Akon here from akontakephotos.com. Today we are looking at sunrise and twilight photos. It is about 5:30 in the morning at the moment. We're about an hour and a half away from the actual sunrise, so plenty of time to explore around and find a good location. I've done a little bit of planning already, but until you get out here you really don't know what the condition's going to be. You can probably hear it already. There's quite a bit of wind and there's a bit of low-lying cloud, which is going to give us some interesting colours hopefully as soon as the sun comes up. But before we get started with the sunrise shots, I want to do a little bit of cityscaping, especially at night. That's the city of Christchurch there, that's my hometown. And as I was driving around, I saw this little tree perched on the edge. It's pretty a bit hard to see on the GoPro. But I thought I'd frame it up with a silhouette, the city in the background, with a silhouette of the tree, and see what we can find. So I'm set up here with the tree in the left-hand third of the screen. You've got the city in the background. I'm going to go with a 2-second exposure at f2.8, my 35mm lens. ISO is nice and low. I don't want too much noise, but we'll see how we go. This is the first shot of the day. I put on a 2-second timer as well, just to avoid any shake from my my hands. So let's switch my little lamp off and see how we go. So I should really talk a little bit more about the location I've picked for this morning. I am here at the Port Hills, which separate Lyttelton Harbour from Christchurch City. And the reason there's these big outcrop of hills right in the middle of what is normally quite a flat city is because it's the base of a volcano. It is an extinct volcano and it erupted many millions of years ago, and it's left these beautiful outcrop of hills with a nice harbour in the middle. Nice clear calm water there, nice and easy to have a port. But the problem is that the way that the Port Hills is set up, it opens up to the Pacific Ocean out to the east, and with the easterly wind blowing today, it is actually funneling a lot of that low-lying cloud right through the middle of the hills, to the extent that the point that I was thinking of sitting for the sunrise out west is pretty much engulfed with low-lying cloud and mist and fog and all the other stuff that's going to get in the way of a comfortable shoot. So I'm sitting here at the moment on the west side of the hills, taking the views in and using it to my advantage. That you can probably see behind me a meteorological tower, and I've taken a couple of shots of that just to keep myself busy until I can decide what's happening. Hopefully these clouds are going to burn off, but it looks like they're just getting stronger. So rather than try and sit in the middle of all the mist and try and sit and capture something there, I'm going to have to readjust, and I think I might go down to the water side and take some photos from there and see if we can get some action shot from the ground looking up. So as expected, coming lower down has given us much better conditions. There's still that cloud that's blowing over from the east through to the west of the Port Hills, but that's well above us now, and we've got some nice colours starting to happen as the sun is rising. We're still about 30-40 minutes away from the actual sunrise, so it gives me a little bit of time to set up. Now the best colours at a sunrise are just before the sunrise, so I really want to set up as quickly as possible and find some interesting foreground, as well as get some of that landscape in the sides and the water there. And some mud flats in front of me. The tide is out at the moment, which means some of that water that's resting in the mud flats there should give me some nice reflections. Also some opportunities just to spot a few birds wandering around. And if you can hear them, you can hear the bellbirds and the tuis singing away. So it makes for a pretty good morning overall. Okay, here we go. We're starting to get some of those typically beautiful pinks in the sky, especially with the wispy cirrus clouds right at the top. Got a little bit of foreground as well with the reflections in the mud flats, but also with the different types of clouds in front and some of the headland there. Now I know by looking earlier on Photographers Ephemeris that we're going to get the sun hopefully rising right in between those, the headland right out there. We'll see what sort of action we get there. But those colours are starting to really pump out now. So I'm not going to waste the opportunity. I'm going to see what I can do to capture as much of this as I can. So the pinks and the reds have started to pass, and we're replacing now with a bit more of yellow and blue. I think we caught the best of the pinks, but there's still quite a bit of cloud movement out there. So what I'm doing now is using the Play Memories Smooth Reflections app that you can download for the Sony camera. And what it does, it takes multiple exposures of the same setting, same scene, over and over again, and then it merges it into a single shot, all in camera. So I could do this in the same way that I could take the shots, take it back to Photoshop, and layer it, and use a median layering system to try and get the same effect. But this way I can just leave the camera clicking away and get as many shots as I need. In this case I think I'm getting 96 shots, and hopefully they'll give us some nice streaks across the sky, as well as smoothing out this little rock pool down here and getting some of the reflections coming across on the mud flats in front of us. Here we go, the sun's just starting to peek up over the horizon, giving us some beautiful crepuscular rays there. I am going to purposely again underexpose the shot so we can get those rays in there and see how we go. I've moved to my 55mm, but I think it's also time to bring out my big one. I've got my 150 to 600mm Tamron lens, which I think is going to be a beautiful lens to capture that sun coming up over the horizon with, and maybe some birds in front of it too. So some of the things we've learnt today, starting off with some twilight shots. There's still plenty of action to be had in that blue hour when the sun hasn't come up and the stars are still out a little bit, but also just how to adjust when things don't go your way. Those clouds were just going to cover everything I saw up high, so moving down low, adjusting my plan, and still getting some good shots is what you have to do as a landscape photographer. So hopefully you've enjoyed this. If you've got any requests, you've got any ideas for future videos, you just let me know. I'll see what I can do. See you next time.